And without further ado, I'd like to welcome you guys to, there we go, Sam. Nice
How we
background,
doing?
man, looking real cool.
Thank you, man. It's the streamer setup.
Yeah. Were you streaming live today?
Yeah. I jumped off stream about like 15 minutes ago, so I was
Wicked,
trading
man.
until recently.
Yeah, did you get any positions or just pretty much sitting on
We
your
had a
hands?
break even earlier this morning, but nothing on stream, unfortunately.
Okay, nice, man. But yeah, as I said, thank you very much for jumping on. Really appreciate it, of course. And to those that have watched our podcast, you actually saw Sam and I had a one-to-one trading hot seat, which was absolute fire, and just dived into his journey. But for anyone that hasn't previously seen Sam, could you please just give 1 to 2 sentences about yourself, how long you've been trading, and just the usual?
First of all, my voice is not squeaky, is it? It's all good?
It's all good.
Okay. Yeah, so obviously, like, my name's Sam. I was originally a lawyer. I was working in a law firm. I went through law school, graduated, did all this lot. And similar to Flo, I needed some extra money. I was in a situation where, my salary wasn't covering my bills. So found trading, struggled with it for a while. I've been trading now for roughly 5 years. If you count like when I was messing around with it, probably about 7, but there you go. And yeah, eventually it took off, was able to quit my job and eventually then leave the UK and move out here to Cyprus. So
yeah, that's quite the journey because you're still very young, man. So you've definitely accomplished a lot in that short period of time you've been on Earth, man. You've definitely got a lot of fans in the chat. A lot of people say, and they're saying you're handsome, you got a great trim. Definitely
we're
getting
talking about the trim on
chat,
stream. I think these are the boys that have come over from stream. So I appreciate you guys if you're here.
Nice, man. So yeah, I wanted to ask you a question. So for yourself, how long did it take you to go from unprofitable to break even to now you're at a point where you have a 90% win rate, which is crazy, absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
But how was that journey and how long did it take?
So this is what I mentioned earlier, like when I decided to lock in, because I think for the start I was trading sort of like most people do, seeing as a side hustle, and I don't count that time towards my journey because realistically in that situation, you're not going to actually make any decent progress. But within about 18 months of me genuinely taking it seriously, studying every day, turning up to the markets at work, getting told off for being on TradingView in the office, that sort of thing. It took about 18 months to get to the point where I would say, break even, somewhat profitable. And then, like you mentioned, it's a scale, it goes from break even to you become profitable. And then there's different levels of that profitability. It's not just suddenly you get out of the break even stage and it's Lambos. It's like, it's a big journey. So from break even to where I am now, it took me about 2 years of just consistently scaling up. And yeah, that's been the journey so far.
Yeah, that is, yeah, man, going from that to 90% win rate, as the chat is saying, is absolutely insane. So chat, if you have any questions for Sam, please drop it below. And then I'll pick out some specialist ones. Let me just quickly scroll through. So we have... Oh, this is a good one from Abdul Kabir. Oh, okay, from Chisholm. It's, how did you move from inconsistent to being consistent? What changed?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So this is what I always like to say as well. For most of the traders who are struggling, or maybe you even break even, right? Most of the break even traders are not actually struggling with strategy. The only thing they're trading with is discipline. And it's not as if it's break even, like you can't make money. Most of the traders go from, they're doing well. Profit's building up. Then you have one day that's a slip up and you wipe it all out. It's essentially the inconsistency that Chisholm mentioned, and the inability to take a loss. And I think the reason that I got past that is just realigning my priorities and actually thinking about what my goals were. Obviously, all of our goals as traders are to make money, right? So how is the best way to go ahead and make money? Well, the best way to make money, everyone knows, is to follow a system, is to follow your discipline, follow your rules, risk appropriately. And I kind of thought to myself, look, I'm broke. I want money. The way I've been trying to make money so far is by taking shortcuts, by over-risking, over-trading. It's not working. Let me realign my priorities and logically just think the best way to get to my goals is actually just doing it the right way. And once that sort of clicked, I've never gone back, because why would I?
Yeah, thank you for answering. That's a great response. Next question is, how to stop myself from jumping from strategy to strategy?
Yeah, I mean, again, this is like a massive thing in the trading industry, right? I would say realistically, you just have to have a conversation with yourself and figure out what's working and what's not working. 99% of the time, when I get even when I get students that come to me, my mentorship students, maybe my group students, whatever it is, sometimes we don't even change their strategy because every single strategy can work. Everyone knows this. There's a lot of hate on different strategies. Every strategy can work. 90% of the time, it's the trader that's actually causing the unprofitability, right? It's going to be your emotions. It's going to be not actually following the plan. So I think jumping from strategy to strategy is something that you need to look at your data for. If you're genuinely honest with yourself and you're actually trading the strategy and you're not deviating at all and it's not working, you're losing money, then you need to look in the mirror and go, okay, maybe this strategy is not for me. But how many of you guys can actually go ahead and say, I'm trading perfectly to my strategy. I never take trades off plan. I never over risk. I never over trade. I guarantee not many. So it's one of those ones you need to be brutally honest, but that's what I would say.
Yeah. Accountability is the main thing, isn't it? Definitely,
Yeah.
man. And I know previously you used to be really heavy on personal capital trading, right?
I knew this was coming.
You've gone absolutely crazy in the past few months and you've actually reached 1 million funding, which is bonkers. How did you do that?
Yeah, I knew this was coming. So yeah, you are right. Last time we had both of our podcasts, actually, I was the only one at the table when we did the round table that didn't trade funded, and I was very heavy on that. I think it's an important thing to be, as a trader, to be able to switch your perspective, change your sort of change what's going on. The reason being, I went on quite a big losing streak last, I don't know, 6 months ago, 7 months ago, something like that. And I was still in profit for the year. Everything was still fine. But I was just looking to myself and I was thinking, right, I've just risked a lot of my own capital here. I'm still in profit and everything. Why don't we just try a de-risk period? Because the market was looking shaky for my strategy. There wasn't as many good setups. And any good trader will know you have to go through periods where you're risking more aggressively and when you're risking less aggressively. And for me, rather than dropping the numbers down on my live account, which I could have done, I wanted to try out, the funding route, because at the end of the day, all you're risking with the funding is your initial investment, right? Whatever you pay for the account. So that was a massive de-risk for me. I was risking 5,000 to 10,000 on my live account, which is just, a large amount, and spread across funded accounts is essentially nothing. So the way I did it was just through a method that I've developed since becoming funded. I call it my shotgun method. And it's essentially just removing all emotional attachment towards the fundeds, because I think a lot of people buy one funded account and they go ahead and they actually get so emotionally attached to it and they're so, eager to pass it and so scared to fail it, that's when the actual negative trading habits come in, when you've got that emotion behind you, when you've got that pressure. So you just start off small, buy more accounts with a smaller size, scale it up, and that's exactly what I did.
Yeah. No, it makes total sense, man. And yeah, just what does it feel like to have 1 million in funding?
You know what? I'll tell you the story. It's crazy because I've been doing it over the past month. I think I've been sort of scaling up to that mill, trying to get it as a goal. And once I set it as a goal, it happened very quickly. But 2 weeks ago, I was at $950,000 in funding and I had a 50K, and there was one trade that I needed to get across the line and it would have passed me. So I set my TP at the pass, which is actually where my TP should have been. And it hit, and I was $10 off the $1 million funding. And I was there like, no. And I thought to myself, you know what, let me just take a little scalp to get it over the line. And then I was like, nah, actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait. And this was at night. Because I'd blown accounts before by doing exactly what I just said and trying to scalp it over the line, which I advise no trader to ever do. Just wait for it, be patient. Next morning, it was actually like 5 a.m. I woke up in the middle of the night for some reason, Asian session. My setup was printed. I took it with low risk and passed it. So no one was awake, but I was like, yes. And then, I hit $1 million funding in my bed alone at night. Crazy. Yeah. But there you go. It was an incredible feeling. And just, a result of a lot of hard work, I would say.
Yeah, no, bro, huge congrats to you, because that's no small feat. And yeah, especially just trading live and just doing everything that you're doing just adds that much more pressure, isn't it? So being able to maintain that discipline, to stick to your strategy, not let what the chat is telling you to do or what not to do, because obviously we all get the odd throw here and there, and just to stay locked in is very impressive. So yeah, huge congrats to you, man.
Appreciate it.
Okay, nice. Just one more quick question from the chat. Let's see if we have another one. Right, we have one here. Here we go. How many accounts did you blow before you reached some level of success, and how did you handle the failure?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So this is something that I don't like to track. I've got a very bad habit of dwelling on numbers, dwelling on losses. For example, before I started trading, I'd lost sort of decent 5 figures in money trying to become profitable, and that was something that I always thought, I need to make this back. I need to make this back. So I don't track it. But to be completely honest with you, it's probably over 100. There's lots of funded accounts that I've blown. I invested a lot of money into it, and I'm not ashamed to say that because that is a part of the journey. Especially recently with the $1 million funding that I got. Unfortunately, I'm at a stage where I can afford the challenge fees, okay? But the main reason why I was able to do it so quickly is exactly what I was trying to say earlier. You can remove all pressure from your trading accounts, from all of this, stress, etc. If you just have, maybe you scale down if you don't have the money to buy lots, and you buy, like, let's say instead of buying 100K, you buy 4 25Ks. In that case, now you've got a 400x chance of passing. Yes, it's going to be smaller, but remove the ego out the way, 1% payout, then it's going to pay for your next set of accounts. So that's always been my method. And most recent set, I probably bought double the amount of challenges I passed, but I knew that was going to be part of the process. I knew it was, you have to fail accounts. And when you have that mindset, there's nothing you have to handle, because when you lose an account, all right, move on to the next one. The next one's passed. All right, good. But if you are struggling with, dwelling on losses, I would say the most important thing for you to do is, first of all, you need to walk away. All right. So you need to walk away, get some outside time, get some deep breaths in, come back to the charts. Then you need to actually acknowledge it. A lot of people go ahead and they just dismiss it, or, they have denial. You need to get through it, acknowledge that it's happened. Unfortunately, there's nothing you can do to change it. We have no time machines. And then you need to think of the best logical next move. Is the best logical next move for you to go straight back in, buy another funded account and move on? Probably not, right? You should probably try and figure out what went wrong. Maybe go and learn something, go to YouTube, invest in some education, whatever it may be, and then move on from there. It's just all a logical process, trying to remove emotions as much as you can.
Yeah. No, again, another value bomb. Okay, thank you so much, Sam, for just, of course, as always, answering all these questions and giving traders so much wisdom from your multiple years of experience, and now 1 million in funding. So yeah, man, really appreciate it. And if you just had a few minutes, would you be able to share screen and just go through like not in too much depth, but just a quick step-by-step guide as to how you might analyze a chart per se?
For sure. Let me see if I can operate this. All right, you can see my screen?
Not yet. I can't. Yep, now I can. Yeah, sweet.
All right, cool. So I trade gold only. I think a lot of you will know that already, but I trade gold. And my strategy, we spoke about this on the podcast, is extremely simple. Extremely simple. And I think that's the way it needs to be in order to be profitable, because if you're running around the charts trying to find 10 million different confluences, it's going to be very difficult. So very simply, I start with a process called top-down analysis. I'm going from the very top time frames all the way down to the bottom. So starting with the weekly, obviously gold is very bullish right now. Daily, all-time high is very bullish. So everything is very bullish right now on gold, even up to like the 2 hour. And then when I drop down to the 1 hour, all I'm going to do is do my analysis. Now, I'm actually going to go back a little bit because it's extremely difficult for me to, there you go, extremely difficult for me to analyze all-time highs, right? But let's say we're here. It's very simply based off of a few things. We have support and resistance. So I'm basically looking at areas of previous rejection. It's going to be areas like this where we've wicked into and rejected numerous times. Areas like this, you've got essentially the same levels being rejected off of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 times. So the likelihood is that's going to continue again in future price action. Then all I wait for is market structure to align. So obviously market structure right now is bullish. And even if you come to the most recent market structure, we've been making higher highs, higher lows. And then you wait for a breakout of one of your levels that goes with your bias, which is a strong bullish bias right now. And then I would need a liquidity grab after the breakout, which we didn't get here, which is why I wasn't able to take a trade on stream earlier. And something like a bottom wick being grabbed and liquidity. And then after we confirm another bullish move here, I take a buy position with a breakout of the range, targeting, if we weren't at all-time highs, what would be the next level of resistance. And it's just that simple. So simple.
Okay, nice. Chat, spam up fires in the chat, because that was pure value. Again, keep it simple, keep it basic, but it works. So why would you change something that works? It doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
So yeah, man, thanks a lot. I always tune into your live streams. I'm definitely quiet. I don't comment much, but I'm always in the foreground watching. And yeah, I appreciate you, of course, because you're giving people a ton of education, isn't it? Just for free on YouTube.
For free as well. It's crazy. I need to start charging for these.
Hey, you should. You should, bro, because not a lot of people do that. So
yeah,
man, Sam, super appreciate you coming on, answering all the questions, giving a bit of backsight into your story, and also giving the audience a lot of advice on how they can improve their own trading, how they can develop and improve as traders. So yeah, really, really appreciate it. And definitely, I'm sure we'll speak offline until the next podcast. So
yeah, I was going to say thank you for having me. And yeah, we'll see each other most likely in person here for the next one.
Yeah, definitely. Always, brother. All right, take care, man. Cheers, man.
All right, in a bit.
Nice. That was great, man, just to go through. Hey, welcome back, Yellow.
That was absolutely fire.
Yeah,
that was
man,
absolutely
that was great,
fire.
Man. Okay,
Beast of a
awesome.
trader as well.
Yeah, definitely, man. He's an absolute beast.
I think